Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another podcast on the Thriving LDS Singles. Today, I'm going to be interviewing Kim because Kim has just been to a conference in Utah called BYU Life After Divorce. And I'm really interested to hear what this was all about. So, Kim, that was last week, wasn't it?
It was just over the weekend, so a few days ago. And back home now. I just got home late last night.
Oh, late last night.
Fresh on my mind.
This is fresh, everybody. So this is exciting. So Kim wasn't even sure whether she wanted to go, but it's everybody, all our, because we're now meeting all of these people who are the speakers and things. So you've met a whole bunch of your friends, and so you sort of had to go, didn't you?
Yeah, and that honestly, that was the best part, is reconnecting with them and spending some time with them. So that was fun.
And you found us some new speakers as well?
I did. I have a list, so I'm pretty excited about that. So hopefully we'll get a few of them on, and we can coordinate schedules and things. So that's going to be fun too. There's if anything, that conference just was further reminder of how many amazing people have, circumstances out of their control, but still are resilient and amazing and thriving. And that was a nice reminder of that. So
that's what we're all about, isn't it? Just because we're single doesn't mean we're some sort of outcast or failure or disaster. It's like there's amazing people in this single world.
And there were plenty that I connected with, that asked how things were going, and some that were in the as good as could be expected category, which I guess is kind of where we all are. That is part of thriving, is we're doing as well as can be expected under the circumstances, right?
That's right. This is not the dream for any of us. And, I think that whole thing about the proclamation of the family being the ideal and the dream. And I think that is the dream for most of us, even though, when you read it now, it's a bit sort of like, it's a bit sad. But, and people say, oh, we're forgotten. It's like, well, no, because it's the dream, isn't it? It was the dream we had at 18. And then life came along.
It's true. And you get circumstances out of your control and circumstances within your control that one decision in the wrong direction changes your whole life or the trajectory. And then we have to learn how to be resilient and adjust to it. So
that's right.
Thank goodness for the repentance process and all the things.
That's it. That's right. It's both sides. But we can be different people after we've gone through something and gone, okay, let's go this path instead of that one. Whoops.
Yeah. Well, and I definitely feel like people that have gone through a divorce are, they can be put in the category of really being refined or going through some sort of refiner's fire, because it's such a hard thing. I have never been a widow. You've been both, so you can be the perspective of being in both situations, but they're both so different. And to know that you are actually, maybe if you had a good marriage, that you are loved and you lose somebody is devastating. In the case of a divorce, I don't know, there's a lot of hard feelings all the way around. So.
That's right. And then, of course, there's the divorce where you chose it, and then there's the divorce where you didn't even know it was coming. So it was like, so there's different reactions to those things too. So tell us, what was your favorite talk?
I knew you were going to ask me that, and I have trouble picking favorites. I think they all had some really relevant and good little tidbits in each of the presentations. So I went to one on the warring heart, how to overcome a warring heart, and the pain of betrayal and hurt and that process. And I really loved that presentation. But I would have to say, and this was unexpected, that Lorraine's talk on forgiveness was probably my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I have talked about I'm pretty quick to forgive. Like that's not really an issue for me, but just the way she presented it and the different kinds of forgiveness that there are. And I just thought she did a really great job in the presentation and really enjoyed her talk. So I guess I would say that was my favorite.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Something that you wouldn't have
Yeah.
thought that you needed, and yet it still became your favorite. So
Yeah,
good.
and I probably wouldn't have even picked that to go to if it hadn't have been that it was Lorraine presenting it, because
Right.
like I said, I feel pretty confident or comfortable in that in forgiveness and in that process. But I think she really gave some interesting and good perspectives. So,
Like what?
well, she
What did you
talked
say?
about the three different kinds of forgiveness: spiritual forgiveness, emotional forgiveness, and what was the third one? I want to say I don't know, I took a picture of it, but mental forgiveness, but just the different layers of forgiving and how they benefit us, each of the different layers. And let's see, I'll pull up the picture and share kind of what it said. It'll be more meaningful.
Because that's the one of the differences in divorce is that yes, there's always a person that you've got to forgive, whether it's the fact whether you chose or not chose the divorce. It's
Yeah,
forgiveness is still, and the other part that I find is that they're still around. Like it's, they're still there, and you're going
yeah,
to run into them, especially if you've got children in common. Then you're going to be running into them, and I didn't want that conflict that some people can't turn up at their children's events together. Neither one of us wanted that.
yeah.
So you've sort of been
There was a
nice to,
lot of discussion on that in a lot of the presentations, actually.
like,
So, okay, so the first one is decisional forgiveness. Decisional forgiveness involves deciding to forgive a person personal offense and letting go of angry, resentful thoughts and feelings toward the person who has wronged you. You're making the decision, basically.
yeah,
Then emotional forgiveness, see how they're kind of layered. Emotional forgiveness involves replacing the negative emotions with positive feelings. So that's like the next layer, emotional forgiveness. And then the final is spiritual forgiveness, which is uh, spiritual forgiveness is absolute faith in Jesus Christ and fully relying on the Savior's atonement. So that's like making that connection and recognizing that He's going to take care of the rest. And that's not our job. So,
so
so she
that's the
talked
one with
about those.
yeah, that's the one where you're sealed to this person, and you're going, well, what does this do to the sealing of the parents, but also then the children, and yeah,
Yeah.
so that
Yeah.
there's a big sort of like, okay, God just sorts this out. This is this is not my job to sort out. This is His
Yes. Yeah.
sort
And
out.
she did talk, I think she talked a lot about that and really that true process of turning things over to the Lord
Mm,
and submitting our will and trying to not be the ones that make it right, right?
yeah, right.
But
Oh,
back to your comment about, because that is something that came up in a couple of talks that I think is really important. And I think it's important to think about from the perspective of what a divorced person goes through is that
mm-hmm.
it's not a one and done kind of a thing. And so, some of the examples were one person had a wife that they had made an agreement that they were going to talk to each other before they made plans for Thanksgiving so that they could be fair and coordinate things. And then she went ahead and talked to all the kids and made a plan without him. And so, of course, he's angry and you don't want to be angry. And so he feels all this conflict because he's feeling angry and doesn't want to be angry and is trying to let go of that and get to that place of forgiveness. But those things, they reappear, they come up, or little things all along the way, like it never goes away. And so you really
Well, it
have to
goes
learn.
away. That's something that I think I've been shocked about. Like
Yeah.
I've been divorced now. I was going to say 35 years, something like that. So long
Yeah.
time. Everybody's grown up and got their own lives and things.
Yeah.
Yet there's like, I get angry when he hurts, like he does something that hurts the children, and like these are
Right.
adult children, and it's like,
Yeah.
what's doing this, or
Yeah, it's true. And then you do have that process of you have to be so careful and respectful about when your kids come to you or want to say, "Hey, do you know what dad did?" Or, that those things just never end. And you have to be the one that is in a good place and doesn't want to, feed that or encourage it or do all the things that we could do and, help our children to navigate those waters and have good relationship with both their mother and their father and all of the extended family that sometimes get involved too. So it is. And then you have the challenge of children that maybe have to go through a divorce and so it's just like it's such a big part sadly of the way things are right now that we really do have to learn how to be really good communicators, very forgiving and learn how to let go of that stuff.
yeah, love, accept people as they are is,
Yeah.
yeah. So yes, as you said, I've got two boys that have been divorced, and so yes, it's,
Yeah.
you know yell and scream at those women who treated my son so badly. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually have friends that are like that. Like the mama bear in me comes out. I want to say that this person is not good enough for you, or, don't talk to me about what this person did. I'm going to go have a conversation.
That's
Because
right.
you do. It is hard not to be loyal and caring and loving about your friends and your family and to just accept people the way they are and give them love and grace and forgiveness.
Mm.
So,
So there's some hard lessons that people,
yeah.
I imagine, felt a little bit like, oh,
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And then I think the other really good, I went to hear my good friend Soraya talk, but she actually had been prompted just days before the presentation that that one of her friends needed to do the presentation, which was
oh,
amazing in and of itself, because she had to call this person and say, you know what, I feel really strongly that you need to be the one giving this presentation. And then that person had to think about it and get ready in just a few days and the conference had to agree that that was going to be all right and all kinds of things. But it happened and she did an amazing job. She really did an amazing job. And I hope we can get her on. But she talked about just shame and managing, shame and how detrimental it is and harmful it is, and how Satan really works on all of us when it comes to shame.
mm.
And so that she gave an excellent talk as well. So hopefully we can get her on and hear a little bit more about her story. But
Because that is one of the issues, isn't it? Is sort of how do you stay active at church
yeah,
and say, oh, I'm divorced. And
yeah,
um,
yeah,
I had
yeah. And
a friend
then Anthony,
recently tell me, yeah,
oh,
sorry.
go ahead. No, go ahead. Ask. You're interviewing. I'll quit talking. You interview me.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I had a friend recently who, what was she telling me a story about how she'd always felt like since she'd been in this particular ward that she was sort of an outsider. And then it was like the bishop was interviewing her about something and she said about her husband had died. And he said, oh, I thought you were a divorced person, oh, well. And she said the whole demeanor changed when she found out.
Fascinating.
And she's like, that's not fair. Like, he shouldn't have treated me any different whether I was divorced or widowed, you know?
So true.
And it shouldn't be any different. But yes, there is that stigma, isn't there, of like, oh, you're a divorced person. Oh,
Yeah.
maybe we've got to be a bit more careful around you. And we see a lot of people go inactive, and like I went inactive. It's partly the divorce itself rather than church. But yeah, you just sort of throw like, oh, stuff it. This is too hard.
Yeah.
And that's not what we're meant to be doing, is it? And so shame is a big part of that, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like there's that sort of mark on you somehow. So
Yeah. And then we had some great BYU professors and scholars come, like Anthony Sweat, who just wrote a book about sealings he came and spoke. And um, the interesting thing, most of those keynote speakers or professors are married, but
Yes.
uh, and so they have they always kind of start their presentation with, I have so much compassion for this group. And I hope the Spirit guides me in what it is I need to share. So, which is very sweet of them. But yeah, he did I thought a really good job, really interesting information about sealings and how some of those covenants all came about, and some of Joseph Smith's um, what he had written about him and things like that. So he did, I think, a really phenomenal job. It'll be interesting to see. I don't know if all of what he shared is in his book, but I definitely want to get the book and dive into that a little bit. But
Yeah, that's a really important topic, isn't it? Because so many
yeah,
of us, well, how does the sealing stuff, if this is the most
yeah,
important ordinance that we can do, how does it fit? And I know that's one of your big questions.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
where do I fit into the scheme if I need to be sealed, but I'm not sealed? So how does that work? Did it help you?
I did, and I think the more I hear about, especially when I hear about the research and the BYU professors sharing their insights and learnings about, like we had Barbara Morgan Gardner on, and Carrie Milstein and some of those. I think there's a very consistent message in that we have a very narrow perspective of what family is, and that really we are all part of the family, and that's where our focus and the whole um, focus of family and being all together. And we just don't know all the details about what that means. But I think for single people, I think a lot of people really have connected with that and have a deeper understanding and meaning about what that is, because they've had to create family out of more than just a bloodline, or
Mm.
the people that they were sealed to, or perhaps didn't get sealed to, like in my case. But and even just the definition of posterity. I gave a sacrament talk the other day on joy, and one of the things, as I had been praying and researching and kind of pondering that, is they mentioned joy in the endowment session over 6 different times. And I mean, it was really clear. Heavenly Father wants us to feel joy. And he spoke to it in relation to two things. One was obedience. So joy oftentimes is connected to be obedience, but the other is posterity. And that one always kind of gets to me a little bit, but because I'm not sealed to my children, but that doesn't mean that I don't have the ability to influence my posterity. And then just the broader definition of what really posterity means. And I think that a lot of single people have really done some of that, done some prayerful consideration of that and what that means, and have maybe a more expanded viewpoint or perspective. So Anthony Sweat and many who have presented on sealings, I think, focus on that or share that. And I really value or have come to have a greater understanding of that.
Mm. Yeah, that's what I've started to understand, is that sealing's about, we're sealed as the family of Abraham. Like
Yes.
it's all of us, which is then puts the focus back on our family ward, doesn't it? It's like we're actually literally sealed as brothers and sisters
Yes.
together as the
Yes.
family of Abraham. And so, that person that annoys you is actually going to be in your sealed family.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so all really great talks. We had some great networking things. The
Yep.
food was amazing, but I
Oh,
really enjoy the networking things because you guys know I'm an introvert, and that it's really hard for me to do that stuff. And
yeah.
so whenever they
Oh,
make
yeah.
a game,
Everybody comment. How many of you think Kim's an introvert? Like, come on, like, let's comment about
I
this.
am, I
Tells
am.
us that. And like, Kim and I have never actually met in person, so I can't actually comment either. I only know her the
You've
same way
never
you both.
seen me not work a room.
Yeah, exactly.
But
But
it's not a skill that I have. I'm not capable. So anytime somebody says, like in this particular case, one of the things they did that I thought was great, good idea for a single activity, is they had stickers with numbers on them. And so they went around to all the tables that were eating dinner and just took a sticker off and put it on a person at each table. And then your job was to go find, my number happened to be 16. So I had to go find all the 16s and have a conversation with them. So that is a great way to force people like me that are shy and aren't just going to walk up to people to have a conversation. And it worked out really good. I met one of the people I hope that we can interview in one of the future podcasts that way and that little activity. So that was super fun. So that was one thing that they did that I thought was really great. And then another thing they did is they passed out a bag with candy on it in it. And then you had to walk up to somebody and have them pick something out of your bag. And then, like if it was a Twix bar, there was a thing printed on the outside that said share, and then it was something related to, a Twix bar or whatever. So, and they had like, I don't know, maybe seven or eight different candies in there. So you had to go around and and well, after you answered the question, then you got to keep the candy. So anyway, that was a really fun activity too. So that helps you connect to people and learn something about people and is kind of a forced activity, which I really value and appreciate. As much as I also complain maybe about those, I really do value and appreciate
Yeah,
it
you
because I
told your
wouldn't get out
after.
and meet people.
Oh, they're going to make me do something weird and crazy.
Yeah,
So how many
so
people were there? Obviously, that's
oh
quite a
well, yeah, that's heartbreaking. They were full and people were trying to reserve and come that couldn't because they didn't have capacity. And so I would say there's over 400 people there or more
wow.
and all divorced. So I guess that's the other thing. You kind of feel like you're a kindred spirit, because you're walking around a bunch of people that have had a similar
Mm,
experience in that they're all divorced. So at different
mm,
times in their life, which is really interesting.
yeah. And willing to come to an activity like that. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you and that's yeah, did the hopefully the organizers go, wow, this is obviously needed. We need to do this more and to make a
Yeah.
bigger capacity.
Find a bigger venue, really, because they had lots more people wanting to come than they had capacity for. So, which is, like I said, kind of heartbreaking, but at the same time, it's a great
Exciting for the
opportunity.
organizers. Yeah. Because you're
Yeah.
going like, oh, does anybody want to go to a conference about divorce? But
Yeah.
obviously we do.
Well, and there's so many things. Like I didn't go to the one about blending families or even just how you manage and work with parenting, co-parenting, basically was what it
Hmm.
was really about. And tips and techniques and tools for co-parenting, which I think is so essential and such a challenge. I thank my Heavenly Father every day for not having to figure that out because I don't think I would have been good at it.
Yeah, that's right. You waited till your children grew up and can do that themselves.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
And
think that
even
would
then,
have been really
even then,
hard.
isn't there? Even when they're adult children doing the organizing,
Yes. Yeah,
still,
you still have those issues, but it's a little easier.
mm,
Yeah. So they had
yeah.
co-parenting. They had one on betrayal and betrayal trauma, which is
Mm,
helpful. They also had one on the dating app, and I'm hoping to have him on. He agreed. So he's
okay.
the one that created Mutual and
Okay.
really interesting insights. So one insight that he shared that I'll share with everyone because we need to fix this pattern is that it's very common in Mutual that you like somebody. And I will tell you, I went and counted. I had like 15 of these in my little Mutual log of people that you like somebody and they like you, but you never have a discussion. Like that's as
Okay.
far as it goes. You never reach out and say, hi, nice to meet you, or anything else. It's just you both liked each other and that's the end. And he said that they've done a bunch of research on that and trying to figure out like why is that the stumbling block? And
Oh,
women are more traditional and think the men should reach out and men disagree. So it's a stalemate. So somehow we have to overcome that. I don't know. As women, we have to be willing to reach out, and as men, we have to be willing to reach out and get over that because that makes the dating app not helpful.
Oh, that's right. So yes, I can imagine the app person going, well, you like you and you said you like you, so
Yeah,
say hello
so
to
do something.
Oh, that will be good because I know a lot of people use the app. So
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. And I'm sure he has plenty more little tidbits like that that he can share with us about findings that they've had. So I'm excited to have him on and have those discussions. Be thinking of improvements you'd like to see in the app. Send them in so that we can.
Yeah. Tell us what you'd like in the apps that would be different.
Yeah.
I guess I only want, yeah. I know people sort of talk about, are people willing to move and those sorts of issues. So
Yeah.
um, I know I really wouldn't go live in the USA. So
Yes.
I don't even bother with the app because I'm,
Well, and that is an issue like distance and how do you navigate distance? Because there's some people that if they want to find somebody who's LDS, they really don't have a lot of options other than figuring out how to navigate distance. So that's
gosh,
definitely something I want to have some people on that figured out how to navigate that and
I've certainly known
got
people that do
a
that.
relationship out of it.
Yeah, plenty of Australians have married US people, and
Yeah.
sometimes they move there, and sometimes they move to Australia. So, but
Yeah.
it's not something where you can go live in one house one week and one house the other week. You've got to do something different
No,
than that.
which that kind of is my dream. I mean, more like live here in the winter, like right now. It is so beautiful in Arizona that it is perfect temperatures, and it's getting cold in Salt Lake, but it's a nice place to visit. So I would love to have a place in both, or two or three places to move around to. Yeah, or Kate, what I would really love is to have a van like your RV where when it's hot here, I can just go drive somewhere else and hang out
Yeah.
where it's cool and comfortable and take my little dog and travel. So there's that option too.
Well, that one's doable. That one's doable. But yeah, I can imagine. You could live in Arizona and Salt Lake. I think you could do that one.
Yeah, yeah,
That's not too impossible.
yeah.
But
Or St. George, where my son lives. That's only 6 hours away, so
okay. And St. George sounds like a nice place, actually, when you
it's
hear
beautiful.
stories. Yeah. Anyway, stay tuned, everybody. Kim's dating life. We'll see what happens. So, what would you say was the sort of the main thing you got out of this conference?
I think I've shared it. I think just seeing all the amazing people and their stories, what they've been through, and the things that they've overcome and
Yep.
are still struggling to overcome. And there are people that are brand new and still really hurting. And there are
Mm-hmm.
people that have been divorced for 10 and 13 years and are trying to figure out how to get back in a relationship and be willing to be courageous and make those moves. I mean, I spoke to a woman who just hasn't been, she would love to be in a relationship, but she's been single for quite some time and is afraid. And
Mm.
so I just think the more we can gather together in those kinds of communities and love and support each other and help share in some of the challenges and
Mm.
the better off we are. So I think just making those connections was really meaningful. And then just hearing it was very much Christ focused, Christ centered and Christ focused, the themes, and hearing really some good tactical details about, how we really can learn how to forgive and calm a warring heart and, um, be open to, and have faith that good things are going to come again and that there's, have faith in that. So I think there was a
Mm.
lot of really good positive messages.
Yeah, that's a good message, isn't it? It's sort of like
Mhm.
life can get very messy, but stay tuned. It can get good too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm envious because it sounds like
I know.
like
I'm sorry. Well, we just need to do a better job of trying to bring things remote. It's not quite the same, but it's better than nothing. And
well,
I
as you
believe
said,
there's opportunity.
the thing I would love is just to mix with that group of people, and
Yeah.
and that's sort of what we're trying to do with the podcast, is at least everybody gets to mix with them, at least with this on this platform to some degree, and meet all these amazing people that you get to meet and talk to in real life. You're bringing them to the world, so that's fantastic. So it was interesting because I was talking to a person that I met earlier this year, and he was saying how he has listened to the podcast lots and really enjoyed it. And I'm like, oh, because we don't realize listening and stuff. So we hope that people are.
Yeah, I love hearing that. I love hearing that, and that it's meaningful to people and they're getting benefit. So it does make me happy.
And so, you get to do that in real life, which, nice envy, not bad envy, but sort of like lucky you. And thank you for sharing a little bit about how exciting that was, because
it was a great conference. I'm sure they'll do it again. It moved from spring to November, but I think they're probably going to keep it in this time frame in the fall. So it might move again. I don't know, but keep your eyes open for it and Google it. It's always out there, and the dates are out on. It's called the BYU Life After Divorce Conference. So keep your eye on it.
Keep your eye on it, everybody, because we can all fly to Utah and go.
Yeah, and they're open to accepting people's contributions. So if you feel really compelled that you have a story or some guidance or something that you feel really strongly would benefit that community, then create a presentation and submit it. I'm sure they would love that.
Okay. Well, thank you, Kim. And we appreciate you bringing that report to us, all us people who couldn't go.
I know. I'm sorry, but happy to be there in proxy.
All right, everybody, if you've got any questions or anything that you'd like to hear Kim talk about some more, let us know, and we'll talk to you again next week. Bye.
Bye.